Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, faculty say valuable historical items at SU are at risk of decay.
A popular fast food restaurant is being built on Marshall Street.
The Syracuse women's lacrosse team issued an apology after a controversial social media post.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning, I'm Dan Baldwin. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Michael Cortez. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about in our second half hour.
Syracuse University's fight against COVID-19 is ongoing, but reporter Manny Martinez details how some SU students are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Starting to gain a sense of hope that this all might end sooner rather than later. So let's take a look at the latest SU coronavirus numbers. 3 new cases confirmed. Yesterday's numbers get released later today. We'll be waiting on those. And there are 29 active cases. And the students in quarantine increased by 5 to 103. And students have been required to test weekly. So the next step for them is getting vaccinated.
New York's Phase 1B of vaccine distribution has most SU students waiting their turn in line. But dozens of students volunteering at Syracuse University Ambulance and working for the Medical Transport Service have already received the vaccine against COVID-19. Senior Leah Correa both volunteers at SUA and works for MTS. She was vaccinated earlier this year.
We are pretty prepared with PPE, but it is still nerve-wracking. But now with the vaccine, I feel a lot more comfortable.
Emmett Reichel, a senior medical transport driver, sometimes charged with driving COVID-positive students, was relieved to find out he was eligible.
I think it is, unfortunate, I guess, that other students can't get access, but, I think we're not too far off from seeing that happen. But definitely very lucky that in the position we're in.
Correa says the fight against the virus doesn't end with the vaccine, it's still ongoing.
Even though a lot of my friends, or the friends that I work with, are fully protected, we still take all the precautions, social distance, wear masks.
And I want to point out that the university does not currently require vaccinations of these students, but it does encourage them. And the university has also applied to be a vaccine distributor, but that's still pending state approval. That's significant because yesterday President Biden said that there will be enough vaccine for everyone in this country who wants one to be vaccinated by the end of May. That's 2 months ahead of schedule. Guys, back to you in the studio.
All right, great news. Biden's announcement isn't the only significant news made yesterday regarding COVID-19. While there's been an increase in vaccines, which is a big step forward, it also seems like some states have taken a few steps back. Texas Governor Greg Abbott lifted the state's mask mandate and increased capacity of all businesses to 100%.
The COVID news over the past month has been very positive, but the pandemic is far from over. In other coronavirus news on campus, SU is providing students with another space to socially distance with friends. Right now, you're looking at the new quad. The Carrier Dome not only acts as a testing site, classroom, and sports arena, but now it's also a place where friends can meet up to simply hang out. On every Tuesday and some Wednesdays, students can ditch the Shine Center and link up in the new quad. No need to hang out in the cold on that other quad.
Our historic photographs, film, and documents at the SU libraries are decaying due to improper storage conditions. The Senate Committee on the Libraries is calling on the university to build a new storage facility. Adriana Rosas has the latest on this developing story.
As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and in some cases, millions of dollars. Priceless collections of historical photographs, film, and records held at the Syracuse University libraries are decaying due to improper storage conditions. The materials include Margaret Bourke White photographs, Dick Clark tapes, and portraits of Albert Einstein, Langston Hughes, and other rare items. The Margaret Bourke White photographs alone are valued at $98 million, according to a report obtained by Mornings on the Hill. Chair of Senate Committee on the Libraries, Mark Monmonier, said the university had plans to construct a new building to house these collections.
But they had worked out a plan to have a second storage module which would have the necessary environmental controls. And the thing is, you need to have essentially two different kinds of vaults. One which would be cool and the other one was colder.
The committee says those plans were delayed to accommodate other projects, including the renovated Shine Center, and replace the Carrier Dome roof. SU spokeswoman Sarah Scalise denied this claim and told Syracuse.com, quote, "Our interim solution includes additional climate-controlled environmental chambers to protect these collections," end quote. SU already houses other valuable items in their collection at this storage facility off campus. The storage process for items this old and sensitive require very specific environmental conditions. The facility that will be built would need to have climate control and pure air. The price tag for this new building? An estimated $6 million, $4 million of which have already been allocated, according to Chair Mark Monmonier. While the amount may sound high, the committee says it's a price SU needs to pay to preserve these cultural artifacts. The damage of these items isn't reversible, and time is of the essence. With every minute that passes, bits of history are lost forever.
And folks, I've got the report right here from the Libraries Committee, and in it, it says that if SU doesn't act swiftly, we risk these archives and our institutional reputation. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Adriana Rosas Rivera.
It's been nearly a week since New York Governor Andrew Cuomo made a public appearance. In this morning, the latest is that some members of his own Democratic Party are calling for his resignation. While the state wonders where Cuomo is, more allegations continue to surface after a third woman came forward accusing him of inappropriate conduct.
Well, if you were hoping for more food options near campus, well, your wish may have just come true. Reporter Maya Lockett tells us where we will be spending our money next.
Good morning, Syracuse. I'm so excited to announce a new restaurant here on Marshall Street. I'll give you guys 2 hints. It has the best milkshakes and the greatest fries. I caught up with some students to discuss how excited they are. Right outside of Marshall Square, a new fast food restaurant is coming to town, and students are very excited.
Because I'm a really big fan of Five Guys, and there's actually not really any good milkshake places on Marshall, in my opinion, so I'm actually really excited for it for that reason.
That's right, Five Guys. Construction workers are saying that the Five Guys will not open for a long while.
My order is usually the double cheeseburger with bacon and then fries. If you're wondering, I'm very excited to get that.
In my 4 years, I'm a senior now. This is definitely the best thing we're getting on the Marshall Street.
And I'm so happy that about Five Guys coming to town. Even though there's no expected opening date, I hope you guys are excited like me. I'm Maya Lockett for Mornings on the Hill.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, the Syracuse lacrosse team issued an apology last week after a controversial social media post. Stay tuned to find out more.
Also coming up, find out what Syracuse University alum just won a Golden Globe. Stay with us for those stories and much more here on Mornings on the Hill. With warmer weather, we are starting to see less snow. Ryan Clark is outside on the weather deck with your forecast. Ryan?
Yeah, Michael, the jacket's off today, and that's because spring has finally sprung in Syracuse. You can see there's no snow behind me at all, and that's because it's 45 degrees and sunny, but it's not going to last. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. From Thursday through Saturday, Syracuse is going to stay a constant 28 degrees, and it's going to warm up slightly on Sunday with a high of 34. Now, if you're driving home from work tonight, watch out for those roads being slick. Expect a little bit of ice as you're coming home. But other counties like Tompkins and Cortland will be a lot drier today. Chance of rain for the rest of the week is only going to be about 10%, so make sure you stay outside as long as you can. And don't leave that jacket too far away. Make sure you grab it as soon as possible. Expect a cold front to run through Syracuse by tomorrow. Reporting live from Mornings on the Hill, I'm Ryan Clark.
Syracuse University alumnus Aaron Sorkin tied a Golden Globe record. Sorkin took home the Golden Globe for the best screenplay motion for his Netflix original, The Trial of the Chicago 7. With this win, Sorkin has now tied the record for the most victories in the screenplay category at 3. The award-winning alum graduated SU in 1983 with a bachelor's in musical theater.
A controversial social media post on the Syracuse women's lacrosse Instagram page forced the team to apologize last week. Our own James Corrigan is live to tell us why the post was considered by some to be racist.
This is the post that caused controversy last week for the Syracuse women's lacrosse team. The symbol in question is deemed by some to be a white supremacist gesture popularized by far-right groups over the past few years. In a statement posted on social media, the team apologized for the post, saying, quote, "We were negligent and hurt people in the community we love so much. We must be better," a sentiment echoed by head coach Gary Gate.
It was a mistake and an unintended one.
Campus leaders on racial diversity expressed their own dismay over the incident.
Disappointment, as I imagine with many others.
The team statement said the gesture was intended to be part of a popular game among juveniles called the circle game, where if someone looks at the circle below the waist, they get a punch to the shoulder. Dr. Smith says the team still should have known better, but that those circumstances show more of a lack of awareness rather than malice.
I would like to think that we have reached a point as a society that we are more aware of these issues. However, I think context is absolutely important.
Above all else, Dr. Smith says this episode must be a learning experience for the community.
We have to continue to educate people until more and more people do know better. It is a learning process.
A new month comes with more new additions on campus. In-person health hubs are back. The Health Hub is an interactive program that promotes wellness among students. Now students can visit the Health Hub across various destinations on campus. The program was moved virtually for a period of time to promote social distancing. For more information, visit the link below. Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill.
New York State announced 10% opening of stadiums, but there's one that still hasn't seen patrons just yet.
Welcome back to Mornings on the Hills. I'm Tahara with your weekly sports update. The Syracuse Orange basketball team picked up a huge win Monday night against the Tar Heels. The Orange is now back on the bubble after recording its first Quadrant 1 win of the season. Now we'll pick up the action late in the second quarter where Jesse Edwards throws down the hammer to give the Orange a double-digit lead. Soon after, it's Marek Dolezaj with the Slovakian spin and the easy deuce. Ensuing possession is North Carolina's Leaky Black with the and-one finish at the rim. The Orange kept coming as Dolezaj finds Quincy Guerrier for a wide-open flush under the rim. Then it's Allen Griffin with the baseline drive and finish. Griffin did not have his best outing for the Orange, but made timely plays with blocks like that. And a little over 2 minutes left, the Tar Heels, giving the Orange everything it could handle, trimmed the lead to 6 following a triple. But it's the Orange claiming the much-needed victory in this one with a final of 72-70. Following the game, head coach Jim Boeheim was as pleased with his team as he has been all season, considering the opponent.
But they're a monstrous big team, and they're hard to play against for us. I mean, those big guys are really big, physical, strong players. But, this was a really good win, really good win. I can't tell you how proud I am of this team to hang in there and battle through this.
The Orange will bring its regular season to a close tonight against Clemson in the Carrier Dome. In a pandemic-riddled season, it seems fitting this game was added onto the Orange's schedule to make up for a missed game. The two teams did meet back in February when the Tigers handled the Orange 78-61. Moving on to women's basketball, where the Orange ended its regular season against the #2 team in the country in NC State. The home game would spell out to be Tiana Mangakaya's final one at the Carrier Dome in her illustrious career with the Orange. We picked things up late in the fourth where the Wolfpack is leading by 2, and an extra opportunity on the boards leads to a 4-point lead for NC State. And with under 30 seconds to play, Tiara Lewis backs her way into the paint, and finishes over 2 NC State defenders. But after NC State converts a couple of free throws, it will be little too late for the Orange as the Wolfpack win with a final of 68-61. After the game, point guard Tiana Mangakaya reflected on her time playing in the Carrier Dome.
Like walking off the court, like I just felt very grateful and thankful to commit to Syracuse out of my JUCO. I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else, and I feel like I made the best decision for me.
Mangakaya is amongst a host of Syracuse players awarded for their play in the Atlantic Coast Conference this season. The Australian native was named All-ACC for the 3rd time in her career as she leads the nation in assists and is a top 5 finalist for the Nancy Lieberman Award. Center Camila Cardosa is the ACC Freshman of the Year and Co-Defender of the Year, while Emily Engschler is the ACC 6th Player of the Year after nearly averaging a double-double for the season. It's been over a week since the state of New York announced venues that can hold more than 10,000 people to reopen. However, Syracuse students have yet to see one game in the Dome this year, and there are no plans for fans in tonight's game against Clemson. Our Brendan Scanlon has the latest on student frustration and the reason why they are still unable to attend.
Students are becoming increasingly frustrated with the lack of transparency as to why they are not yet allowed to attend games in the Dome.
Earlier this month, when Cuomo sort of says, stadiums can start to reopen, starting February 23rd, and then, that date kind of comes around and there's no plan. I'm like, what's going on? Like, there's not a lot of time left,
SU senior Jason Resnick submitted a letter to Syracuse.com, which was published on Monday.
Especially after the article came out, like a bunch of people were saying, like, thank you, like, we agree, like someone had to say it, like, so I'm glad I could sort of like be a mouthpiece to sort of my like fellow seniors that wanted to get back and were just disappointed.
In the letter, Resnick expressed what he and many students are feeling about plans to get students into the Dome, or the lack thereof.
I just wish, we would know like the reason that's like holding us back, because from the outside perspective, right, like I have to go get a test every week. All my friends have to go get a test every week. And I just think like our protocol is really good, and I think it's time. I think we're ready to do it, and I think we're ready to do it safely.
And here's what we know as of this morning. The delay at this point is due to a dispute between Syracuse University and the New York State Department of Health over testing procedures for fans and students to attend games at the Dome. In his press briefing on Monday, County Executive Ryan McMahon said the state has not yet approved SU's process or lab facility to perform these tests. McMahon says he will continue to push the state and work with both parties to try to come up with a resolution, but also noted that it makes no sense as to why the state approves SU's daily testing protocol for in-person campus activity, but not for getting those same students into the Dome. And McMahon is definitely not the only one frustrated. Outside the Carrier Dome, for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Back to you guys in the studio.
Find out what California-based nonprofit group is helping bring fine arts to Central New York. More after the break.
Putting the spotlight on Syracuse, reporter Sierra Ryder is live to tell us about a new nonprofit aimed to bring the fine arts to Central New York. Sierra?
That's right, Michael. Now take a look at this map. Syracuse is over 3,000 miles away from Los Angeles, the entertainment capital, making it seem pretty difficult for people to want to get involved in the industry or maybe even get involved in the arts in general. Well, a new nonprofit in Syracuse called the Arts Project Syracuse is working to change that.
A goal of ours to provide access to arts education for those who don't have it.
The Arts Project Syracuse is a nonprofit based in Syracuse but run from Los Angeles entertainment professionals.
Helping make the city as great of a place as it can be and providing opportunities for people, especially kids there, that they might not have.
Creators of the Arts Project Syracuse, or TAPS, credit their early opportunities in entertainment for their careers, and in turn to the creation of the organization.
I think until I was an adult, that my way of growing up in that area was not necessarily offered to everyone in that area.
TAPS has been actively working with the Boys and Girls Club of Syracuse, providing improv, dance, and more to the youth here. They connect students with working professionals in Central New York and Los Angeles.
We have a lot of really kind of natural comics in our clubhouses, so I think that they're always really excited to just have something new come into the clubs.
TAPS hopes to continue bringing the arts to the community in a meaningful way and really bridging that 3,000-mile gap between LA and Syracuse. If you're interested in helping out TAPS or the Boys and Girls Club, you can head to their website and their social media channels. Putting the spotlight on Syracuse, I'm Sierra Ryder from Mornings on the Hill.
Well, Mike, I have to ask you a quick question. So, given your LA roots, do you think you brought some of that West Coast flair to Syracuse?
Dan, being from LA, I'm not quite sure. We have to let the viewers decide if I've brought my flair to Syracuse.
Well, if I don't say so myself, I think you have. But that's going to wrap up this show here today. Thank you so much. My name is Dan Baldwin. Please follow us on social media for more updates.
I'm Michael Cortez. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday, live from the Orange TV Network.